Hi, Deepika. So it's going to be a very short call. I thought even after sending that voice note, right? I still don't feel that energy picking up in the group. So I thought maybe we'll connect once. Um, so it's the same three exercise for this week, but the little bit explanation that that I generally give in the beginning, right, about the mindfulness practice. So you all had shared about all the complaints that you had on people and all the complaints that others have on you. It's real suffering. It is definitely suffering, right? So whether to complain others or to receive complaints, both are suffering. And if I want to tell in one sentence, this is not me telling it. This is what Eckhart Tolle says this. I read a lot of his books, and this mindfulness is started from his book only. The book is Power of Now, and the author is Eckhart Tolle. So this mindfulness thing started from there only for me. In his words, all the suffering, he tells that there is one reason for it. And that one reason is resistance to the current moment. We are not able to accept that moment, those things, what happened, and those people the way they are. That's the only reason for all our sufferings. So if I'll just write it in the chat window. Non-acceptance of the current moment. Just keep reminding you about this. What is causing me suffering? Not able to accept what is happening right now. Now, this 1 week was a very terrible week for me. Not just because of the no problem. Yeah, Sandhya, take care. I know this is an odd hour, and then you all were not prepared. So, but I just felt like sharing this, so I thought I'll connect. Okay. So I'll just mute again. So this week was a very emotionally very up and down week for me, because not just for the family sickness, but my dad is also not well, and I'm I'm going to the peak of emotions. Sometimes I'll be like in a very balanced, steady state, and sometimes I'll be like very deep down, so much crying and emotionally very weak and all that. But that is when I realized that all these theories and whatever I'm explaining might all sound good when we hear, but how do we really make use of it when we have the need for it, right? That takes lot of I don't know what, lot of awareness. The awareness should tell that yes, you are in pain, you are in suffering, and this is the only way it can be. So that acceptance should come there, right? So, so I wanted to just tell this, that non-acceptance of the current moment is the reason for all suffering. Now, now when we are aware, now after like 6 weeks of practice, now we all are aware of ourselves little more than what we know earlier, right? Now we know what all we fear the most, what we do for the joy of doing, what all we do for pleasing others. I'm sure these findings are continuing for you. In the week one, it might be here one or two instances you might have identified. But as we go on, as you look into your complaints, and as you see how you react for the complaints, right? Because when you complain, there is an inner voice telling that you're complaining, not after you complain. Earlier, it used to be okay, today morning I complained for this, today afternoon I complained for this. But as you practice this awareness, as you become more aware, what happens is your voice will tell you immediately when you start complaining. right? Did you all experience that? Are you able to capture your complaints immediately when you make the complaint, not after some time? So when you are aware, being aware, when you are more aware, when your awareness increases little by little, it automatically brings in some acceptance. And when that acceptance comes, it gives you a lot of freedom. And when there is a freedom, you have a choice for the next action. You can make the choice for the next action, right? Now, how this acceptance happens, you accept yourself the way you are. You accept your mistakes. You accept others also as they are, and accept what is happening right now. Why? Because the previous moment might be different, the next moment might be different, but this moment, it can never be different than what it is right now, whether it is a joyful moment or a painful moment. But this moment can be like this only. I want you all to just do this small exercise with me. Close your eyes and then take 5 deep breaths, all of you, as much as possible. Long inhale and long exhale. When you're done, gently open your eyes. Now, if I ask you, can you change the 5 breaths that you took a little while ago? Can you change it? Can you make it little longer? Or can you plan for your future breath? You can plan for the future breath, but can you take the future breath this moment? Why I'm asking all this thing is, maybe I'm not putting it right, but what I'm telling is, in this moment, only planning can happen for future, but the actual action will happen in that moment whenever you do it. And the corrections, all the corrections and anything that you complain about the past, it is only you're rooted here, you're rooted in this moment, and you are looking at the past, right? You try to always remember with this breathing example, because the breathing is the only thing that you cannot do it for the past or for the future. Breathing is the only thing that happens in the present moment. That is the reason every single meditation practice asks you to focus on breathing. So sit with your eyes closed, watch your breathing, watch your breathing. That's the 98%, 99% of the meditation techniques are only teaching this, because all of them are trying to bring you to the focus of this current moment, because this is the only truth available. Everything else is in our imaginary world, in um, our hallucination or our imagination, our creative world. It is not at all in the reality. And the past has already happened. This we might have heard 1,000 times, 10,000 times, but are we able to use it in our everyday? You see, all the complaints, it might be about something that happened in the past. It might be something that you have expected and it did not happen, right? That moment, first, when the acceptance comes in, then you have millions of choices to do. You can tell the person to correct it, you can shout at them, you can explain them, you can choose whatever communication you want to choose, you can do that. But acceptance of that current moment is the real challenge. So I was able to do that for most of the things. Every time when something happens, I used to think like this and I used to accept. But for this week, as I was telling you, my dad is not well, and that everything I'm able to accept in my knowledge wise. in my theory part. But from that emotional part, I'm not able to accept. So that causes the trauma up and down. But I'm still trying to get into this practice. So this is what I really wanted to tell about that acceptance part. Accepting the past, rooted in the now, you can plan for the future. But none of us want to go and relive that past and feel that pain again and go through the same suffering one more time, right? This moment is the only moment we have got. Get rooted in this moment, make 100 choices for the future, can plan for the future. But if you again sit and regret about that only past, then we are planning for a suffering for the future. We are planning for that suffering. So learn from the past, know your corrections, plan for the future, you visualize it. But where is this learning and planning happening? In the now, right? So when you start doing that, naturally a joy of doing happens. Now, whenever, now, for example, you're cooking for somebody. I think some of you, or two of you, or three of you had mentioned that suddenly my mother-in-law, somebody asks me to cook for more number of people, and I'm not prepared, or when I didn't plan, and that really annoys me, but I end up doing it. Now, suppose that guest is somebody who you really love to have at your home, somebody you surprisingly coming to see you, then you will be cooking with so much joy, right? Now, at that point, the only choice you have is to cook. Now, whether to cook it with joy or without joy is your choice, right? So, that choice you can make only after that acceptance of that moment. Okay, fine. Today there are 10 guests coming. I'm not in the mood to cook. I'm not in a position to communicate that I'm not able to cook. I have that fear of, I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to cook, but I don't want to, I'm not in a mood to cook. In that situation, once you accept that situation, yes, this is the situation and I accept it, then you have choice whether to do it joyfully or without joy. That time you can make that choice. So maybe it's all going too much theory, but just keep this in your mind. Every moment, continue to affirm, I accept myself, I accept this moment, I am willing to change. I'm having all the knowledge, enthusiasm, willingness to make it the way I want it to be, because the next moment I can plan, right? I am ready to take action on it. I am taking 100% responsibility of this situation, and I am changing it as per my dreams, as per my wish. Like that, you keep affirming. Okay. So, this is what I wanted to share about the mindfulness practice part. Uh, and the practices about. So, Deepika, that's where we'll have to. So, now it is so disturbing that at least now we got to know that we are doing it without our interest, and we feel like people are using us and all that. Forget about the people. You are going through a conflict within you, right? You're not interested, but you're forced to do, and you you sit and start thinking about the solutions. You will get lot of solutions. One, to non-violent communicate non-violent way, that this is what I can cook. I'm not well, or I am not in a mood to cook. Just face it. But fear will be so high because all these days we have practiced it in a particular way. That forget about all those third people, right? Like you being used and people what they will judge about us. All that you forget about it. But you try to deal with this. Am I doing it with joy of doing or not? Can I try to do it with joy? Can I try to do it joyfully? Try and check it out. I did that, Deepika. So some time back, long back, I had guests at home, and generally I'm very happy to have guests. But this particular guest was was supposed to stay for a very long time, and I was not very comfortable because I was myself settling down with two small kids, and it was like too many things to handle at that time in my mind, and that is when I started reading Secret. And every day I was going through that conflict. And once I read that, every day you have a choice to do whatever you do with joy and without joy. So what I did was, okay, anyway, this person is here. I don't know, they are going to stay for a long time or whatever. Then I thought, okay, let me do today, whatever I'm doing, I will try to do it joyfully and see. I started doing it. I did it for few days only, Deepika. You will not believe me. Something happened. It was not me. Something happened in their end, and he was not. I mean, it was not convenient for him to stay here, and he had to leave. So I'm telling you, such miracles will happen only when you have that acceptance. You accept, you take charge, you try to do it joyfully if it is possible. If not, communicate it in a non-violent way or work upon yourself, see why you are not liking it. Like that, you start working on it. But the first thing is accept it. Accept this is how it is right now. Let me see what I can do. Now, when you accept and then keep on complaining, no, this person was the reason for this. That person is the reason for this. How can she do this? How can she not think about it? Yeah, you please try that, Deepika, and it really works. So, apart from that, it's just that regular practices, whatever I have shared, please share the mindful eating practice. How are you, Sandhya?
Fine, Kanchanaka. Now I've
How's your
come to my
health?
mom's place.
How is your health?
I'm having this treatment going on in Dhanvantri.
Uh, Sachi was great.
Oh, Ama.
Mm,
Sachi, I'm going to Sachi actually every day.
super, super. So that is a
I've
part of your
discontinued.
therapy. That is also part of your
Amaka,
therapy.
I've discontinued kids school 2 months, and the last 2 months.
Hmm.
So அதனால yeah. ஆமா, blessing in disguise, Kanchanaka.
Happy, happy for you.
ஆமா.
Super.
Kanchanaka, I
This.
have one doubt, okay?
Mm,
நீங்க அந்த in that assignment, it was there, no? Uh, you have to see if somebody complains to you, how you react அப்படின்ட்டு. அதுல obviously nobody likes it. ஓகேங்களா? I also don't like somebody coming and complaining to me, and I feel like how dare they do that. அப்படிதான் இருக்கு. அப்போ like at sometimes it is too overwhelming for me. One day, if I take one day, I see what my daughter does is just like a reflection of me, but I get angry. Okay, that is there. Then some conversation with somebody again that reflects me. At one day, if I know some 10 things that are so those are things I feel shit about myself. ஓ, நம்ம அவ்வளோ மோசமா அப்படின்னு I go to one அந்த ஒரு extreme. So அப்படி போயிட்டதுனால it's and the change to bring in that I want to change. To bring in that change only is draining me. Because now we are all talking in one language, but we are living in like others who are like North Pole, South Pole difference. So only I am putting effort, only I have to do so many things.
no,
So
I totally get it.
how is that?
It
Yeah.
is very overwhelming. அவ்வளோ
Yeah.
அக்லியா நம்ம, இவ்வளோ மோசமா, this bad நம்மன்றத தாங்கவே முடியாது. And all these days were one point வரைக்கும் we only project the good side of us. We only project it. And then everybody thinks we are so good. But we know, they always say, right, there are three characters: what others think about you, and what you think about yourself, and what you really are. இதெல்லாம் மூணு வேற வேற அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல. Like that, this journey itself, initially it will be like this only. It will be so havoc, so chaotic. அப்படியே ஒரு குட்டையை குழப்பி விட்டா எப்படி இருக்கும்? So much of that is what we are doing now. It was all like very rosy and everything going good, but now we are trying to stir it so much. But believe me, it is for good. One thing you remember: you have found 10 shitty things about you today. I might have found 20 things, and each one of us are here of finding out more and more about ourselves. And each situation is giving us that experience. So at least feel good that we are all on same boat. எல்லாரும் we are going through the same. But what happens is, you remind me about this, or I can even tell about this now also, because the practices are anyway I have shared. So I'll tell you one thing. So if I went through this one workshop for 6 hours. Unfortunately, it's not happening anymore. But that workshop had put me upside down. Okay. That is when I started arguing with that mentor, that what you don't like about others, you have it in you. Okay, it started like that, and I'm going on arguing. I myself, I don't like that part. Then how can you tell that I am having it? Okay, I am in full 100% defensive mode. Okay, you take a person, you list out all the characters, what you don't like about them. Then I listed all the characters: dominating, drama, telling lies, too much shouting, and the mari nariya I wrote it. Then take one by one. Now take only the dominating part. Tell me how it has helped you. அப்படின்னு சொல்லி எழுதணும் நம்ம. We have to write it for half an hour. First of all, I'll not tell. I'm telling I'm getting irritated because of the dominating character. How can I tell you advantages? So you told no, you just start thinking about it. You will get only 2 points. Then again, continue to think about it. You will get more points. Then you write it. So it was a lengthy process. But what really happened at the end of it was, there was a series of questions. He asked me, where are you showing that it's okay, Sandhya? I'll send you the recording. You relax, okay? Relax. You attend him. I'll send you the recording. You will get it. So he was asking, where are you showing that dominating? So I was telling, yeah, I show it to my kid, my mom, my sister, a few people who are very close to me. I told I'm very dominating to them. So what advantages they are getting because of your dominant? I told I'm so concerned about them. I love them so much. I care for them. So I had to dominate for some reasons. If I want them to follow some good healthy practices, then I show my dominating behavior on them. And the Mari, I started answering all those questions. You will not believe me, at the end of that 6 hours process, I could see that myself and the person whom I started working on were exactly same in all those aspects. The first time I was the one who was resisting it so much. I was the one who was defending it. I was the one who was arguing for everything. But only when I started, okay, fine, I will start working on it. No, கொஞ்சம் openness oda, when I started writing down, and that impact of that workshop is still there in me. Every time I get angry on somebody, I start thinking, where did I show this attitude to anybody? Sometimes I don't get answer. Sometimes I get answer. But nowadays most of the time I'm getting answer. I immediately see it. I get annoyed somewhere, and I immediately know that I have done it somewhere. Most of the small things I'm telling. So why did I start all this? Yeah, Sandhya asked, right? So it is little chaotic right now because when you are more aware, you are becoming you're getting to know yourself so much. But believe me, believe me, Sandhya, and believe all of you, each one of you, each one of us are so beautiful. Whatever dirt, whatever ugliness, whatever greatness, whatever we all have, each one of us are so, so beautiful. So accept it. Even when you find out that ugliness, yes, that is what it is. So this one Dr. John DeMartini is there. He does this. It's called quantum collapse. He's based out of Hawaii, and so he does this workshop. And he once asked one of the participants, "So how many times have you lied in your life?" He told, "No, I have never lied in my life." He told, "That is the biggest lie of your life, right?" Because can all of us agree that we all have lied in our life? I can accept. After that workshop, I started so brutally being honest. I was ready to accept about anything that I have found about myself. It was only the ego which was getting hurt. But I have lied. I have made dramas. I have dominated people. I have over exaggerated things to make my point true. I have done everything. Whatever I'm getting annoyed from somewhere, I have done that. So this question comes in, what if I get angry on a person who is sexually abusing a small kid? If I'm getting angry on that person, does it mean that I am that kind of a person? No, you should not see what he tells us. There are 4,600 traits of human behavior, right? Each of us will have only some 10 or 20 traits in the top dominating. All the other traits will be somewhere underneath and very dormant. What is a sexual abuse? It means that physically abusing somebody without their permission, right? So it's not just that these what we hear about sexual abuse. It is even about sexual. I mean, physically, if you're forcing somebody to do something, it could be like physically you have to dress up like this, you have to put your hair like this, anything. Physically, have you forced anybody to do anything? So that's a very lengthy topic. For an argument's sake, we can go very long. But just now, when we started getting into this awareness part, you all can start thinking that I think some of you have beautifully shared something that it's a mirror. I'm seeing the world as a mirror and all that. Because see, that's what happens. If 1 week goes disconnected, I get so away from it. But some of you had shared that the world is a mirror. You see what you want to see. And whatever you are seeing, if you're able to see with this awareness point, it's going to help you to evolve. If you want these pain, challenges, whatever you see to help you evolve, see it with awareness. Right? So I think it went in all directions, but that's a very interesting topic. As we move in our awareness, as we move in our mindfulness practices, we will have deeper discussions on this. Okay. So this week, you please continue to declutter all this linen towel, kerchiefs, pillow covers, pillows, and all that. If you have completed, even if you are not able to take a picture and send, just just mention that decluttering linen done. Then I will mark it. Okay, it's okay if you're not comfortable sharing all the pictures about everything at home. I understand. That is okay. And similarly, mindful eating also. If you're, I understand some of you are very articulating it very well, and some of you are might be finding it difficult to tell the experience. So such times you just mention that mindful eating I completed. That is also fine. If you feel like sharing in detail, you share. Otherwise, just simply tell that I have completed. Hmm? Okay. So we have 8 more.
Kanchana,
Priya.
yeah, on the mindful eating, I heard your audio, but it's not that connecting. I see you speak about it. So I made I am it's எங்கேயோ இருக்கு எனக்கு இன்னுமே அந்த mindful eating I just forget it when after eating I realized, oh, I should have done this மாதிரி. How was it when you started it?
Very difficult. Very difficult only.
எனக்கு
only 4
மிச்சதெல்லாம் கூட I
bites.
kind of வந்துட்டேன், பட் இது எனக்கு some other zone. I don't know how to do that start.
No, I totally get you, Priya. Very difficult. All this gratitude, prayer, everything will happen. After the second bite, third bite, I'll be somewhere else. Okay. But slowly, I started practicing. Mostly what I do is I practice dinner because I'm the only one who has early dinner. So it will be mostly me alone. Lunch will be always a family time. So we all sit together. So we cannot avoid chatting and all that. But the prayer part we do for lunch after we put everything in the plate, at least like, if not that lengthy version of the prayer, at least we close our eyes and do it our own style. And fruit breakfast also, unless if it is my favorite fruit, or if I'm enjoying the taste of it, I eat it mindfully. But dinner, I keep trying. I have still not reached there, but I keep trying because that's the only time I make my own dinner and then sit in the corner and then start eating, chewing well and eat. Honestly, Priya, I'm still trying. I have not reached there. It is improving. As I keep trying, it is improving. But initially, it was very difficult. நம்மளுக்கு பழக்கமே இல்லைல்ல அப்படி சாப்பிட்டுட்டு போயிட்டு அடுத்த வேலை ஒரு ஃபோன் கால் பேசிடலாமா, இது என்னன்னு பாத்திரலாமா, அந்த மெயிலுக்கு ரிப்ளை பண்ணிடலாமா, அந்த மாதிரி we are so used to that multitasking, which people call it skill, but I feel it's a real
இந்த 1.5 monthsல மைண்ட்ஃபுல்லா ஈட் பண்ணலாம் தெரியல, பட் கான்சியஸ்லி அவாய்டட் வாட்சிங் போன். அது கொஞ்சம் நிறுத்திடுறேன். ஆனா ஃபுட்டை கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்றேன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. But another thing that comes is I'm eating the healthy food, no? But I heard you say even it's healthy or unhealthy, but concentrate, like just focus.
Whenever we start this, right, the mind will oh, you are not eating organic, you are not eating out of refrigerator, you are keeping it's a frozen food, it's this, you are putting in the mixie, it's going to lose all the nutrition. இந்த மாதிரி எல்லா பக்கம் சேர்த்து வச்சிருக்கிற நாலேஜ் எல்லாம்
அதுதான் உட்காருது more than like what I eat. But I mean, as you said, at least I've reduced the distraction and the phone and the probably yes,
well, it takes time. Let it take even years. ஒன்னும் கவலையே இல்லை, நம்ம இது ஒன்னும் டிகிரி இதுன்னு இல்லை. All that we want is a constant try here and there, as you remember, constant try. But it was definitely very difficult in the beginning. Now it's little better, but now also you cannot really avoid enjoying the conversations, right? That is when a lot of conversations happen, all the jokes happen. So
okay,
that is all.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to it. Like, one being grateful and thinking about how it is sourced, and the other part is feeling the senses when you eat.
5 senses. ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றப்ப ரொம்ப ஜாலியா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். நான் சொல்ற எல்லா தியரியும் ஈஸியா தான் இருக்கும். ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்றப்ப இட்ஸ் டிஃபிகல்ட், பட் once in a while. So some of, I think one of you, Aparna, told that she told the kid about the கால தண்ணியில வைக்கிறது. And the kid started reminding. When we teach kids, right, they make us do it if they like it. As a fun way also we can introduce that to them. See the sound when you eat, did you hear the gulping sound? அந்த மாதிரி fun way கூட we can start. But suddenly you will get a chance somewhere when you're traveling, you're sitting alone, you're eating alone, and that's the best time you can try mindful eating. So
sure.
Just keep trying. That's okay.
Okay, thank you, Kanchana.
4 more minutes. Ramya, you want to ask something?
ஆக்சுவலி அந்த ஈட்டிங் பத்தி நான் என்னோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஷேர் பண்ணலாம்னு நினைச்சேன். லைக் ஹவ் ஐ
சொல்லுங்க ரம்யா.
ஸ்டார்டட்னு நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஈட்டிங் இது பண்ணும்போது ஐ நோ இது எனக்கு முடியுமானே தெரியலன்னு. பட் நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பண்ணது ஏதாவது ஒரு மீலாவது நான் தனியா உட்காந்து சாப்பிடணும். ஐ லிட்டரலி இங்க ரூமுக்கு வந்துடுவேன். பிகாஸ் ஹால்லனா எப்பயுமே டிவி ஓடும். நான் பாக்குறேன்னா இல்லையோ பட் டிவி இருக்கும். ஸோ ஐ மேக்கப் ஏதாவது ஒரு மீல ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிப்பேன். அது நான் இங்க வந்துடுவேன், ரூமுக்கு வந்துடுவேன். சப்னங்கால் போட்டு உட்காந்துருக்கேன். பெட் மேலனாலும் சப்னங்கால் போட்டு உட்காந்து லைக் சின்ன சின்ன ப்ராக்டிஸ். நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண மைண்ட்ஃபுல் ஈட்டிங் வந்து எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச ஒரு ஃபுட்டை முதல்ல எடுத்துக்கிட்டேன். அந்த ரெலிஷ் பண்ணி சாப்பிட்றது தானே எல்லா சென்ஸும் அப்போ கனெக்ட் ஆகும். ஸோ ஐஸ்கிரீம் வாஸ் மை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங். நான் அதுதான் அப்படி சாப்பிட்டேன். சொல்ல போனா ஐஸ்கிரீம் வந்து ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். நம்ம எப்பயும் அதை ரெலிஷ் பண்ணுவோம். பட் இதை வந்து ஃபுல்லா கவனிக்கிறோமான்னு அது பண்ணேன். அண்ட் அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து ரெகுலரா சாப்பிட்ற ஃபுட் இல்லாம புதுசா இருக்கிறத ட்ரை பண்ணேன். லைக் இந்த நம்ம இப்போ இட்லி சாப்பிடணும்னா நமக்கு அது டெக்ஸ்சர்லாம் கொஞ்சம் தெரிஞ்சு நம்ம இதுதானே அவங்க ஹவு தே எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட் அது மாதிரி நான் யோசிச்சு நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், சாலட்ஸ் அப்பதான் கொண்டு வந்தேன். நிறைய சாலட்ங்கும் போது அதுல நிறைய இன்கிரீடியன்ஸ் உள்ள இருக்கும். அந்த டெக்ஸ்சர் எல்லாம் வேற வேறையா இருக்கும். ஸோ அது வந்து கொஞ்சம் கவனிச்சு சாப்பிடணும். சூ பண்ண நிறைய இருக்கும். நிறைய மெல்ற டைம் இருக்கும்போது ஆப்வியஸ்லி நம்ம என்ன அறியாம நான் வந்து கவனிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன். இவ்வளவு நேரம் மெல்றோமா, என்ன இருக்கு இதுல. அது மாதிரி என்னோட கியூரியாசிட்டியை பில்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் வந்து ஐ ஜஸ்ட் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா கொண்டு வந்தேன். மேபி லைக் ஐம் ஜஸ்ட் டெல்லிங் லைக் மேபி இது ஒரு வேலை யாருக்கும் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவோம்னா அதனால இது. ஸோ அப்படி கொண்டு வந்து இப்போ இந்த ஃப்ரூட் பிரேக்ஃபாஸ்ட்னு வந்ததுக்கு அடுத்து அகைன் ஃப்ரூட் இட் அது என்ன சொல்லுது, நான் ரொம்ப ரிலிஷ் பண்ணி சாப்பிடுவேன். வேற எனக்கு ஐ பிலீவ் தட் இட் இஸ் கோனா நரிஷ் மீங்கிற அந்த ஒரு இது வேற செம்ம சூப்பரா சாப்பிடும். காலைல எழுந்தோடனே செம்மையா சாப்பிட்டோம். ஸோ அதை நான் வந்து கொண்டு வந்ததுக்கு அடுத்து இல்லை மைண்ட்ஃபுல் ஈட்டிங் தட் பார்ட் இஸ் வெரி ஈஸி ஃபார் மீ. இப்போ ஃப்ரூட்ஸ்னா என்ன அறியாம நான் எங்க உட்காந்தாலும் அதை அப்படி பார்த்து அப்படி இது பண்ணி சாப்பிட ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டேன். அந்த சென்சஸ் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அலைன் ஆக ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. ஆனாலும் மேக் இட் அ பாயிண்ட் தனியா தான் உட்காந்து சாப்பிடணும். வேணாம் நம்ம ஒன்றும் எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட் எல்லாம் பண்ண வேண்டாம், ஹாலில் உட்காரோம் அப்படிலாம் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐ கேன் டூ தட். மித்த ஃபுட்டுன்னு வரும்போது அப் அண்ட் டவுன் அப் அண்ட் டவுன். பட் திருப்பி திருப்பி என்னன்னா ஞாபகத்துக்கு வருது இப்பெல்லாம் நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி. it is getting back. ஓகே கவனிக்கிறோமா, என்ன பண்றோம், சாப்பிடுறோம், என்ன பண்ற மாதிரி ஐம் ஜஸ்ட் bringing it back. பட் அதான் அந்த டெக்ஸ்சர் டிஃபரன்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் வந்து பிடிச்சது முதல் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியா இருந்தது அது ஸ்ட்ரீம் பண்றதுக்கு, அந்த மைண்ட்ஃபுல்னஸை கொண்டு வரதுக்கு ப்ராக்டிஸ்க்கு.
Thank you, Ramya. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I mean, there's no score or something like 100 out of 100. We have to do all what I told. I myself find it overwhelming. நிறைய 5 senses, gratitude, this, that, அப்படின்ட்டு. But 1 or 2 times follow it and then follow it without the instruction. Again, come back after some time. So that's okay. Take your own time and do it at your own pace.